Command Center access granted. Welcome to the Command Center, Captain. Engaging forward control panel.
Opening communication channel 4. Connecting to Las Vegas, Nevada, United States.
Yes, here I am. Welcome aboard, and appreciate everybody joining us. Boy, I've already lost my controls here. Hello, welcome, Royal. Yeah, we've got a special guest lined up to join us here this evening to share their game from halfway around the globe here. And unfortunately, we have not been able to connect with them, so I can't open that comm channel at the moment, but we will continue trying that here and see if we can't make that happen so we can share Leo and his game and with you all. So you're stuck with just me for at least a minute here. We'll see how this goes. Thanks for tuning in and joining us. We've got some new crazy things added through. Yeah, I don't know. That took entirely too much of my day to do that. I don't know if it was worth it. But we'll be able to add some stuff to that, create some cool messages throughout the streams as we move forward. Well, how y'all doing? How's everybody today? Welcome in. Good to see Abomination. Why didn't we get... I am good. I'm concerned that we didn't get alerts. Oh, I know why. I always forget this step. Sorry, let me do this.
An officer has arrived in Command Center.
All right.
An officer has arrived in Command Center.
All right. There you go. Got a couple officers here. There we go. Bum. All right. So, yeah. Well, good to know you're doing well. Hopefully you had an enjoyable day and was able to accomplish more than I was.
An officer has arrived in Command Center. Service contract has been extended for exemplary service.
Wow. Well, thank you. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the welcome to Officer Those Coles, who has stepped on the bridge and extended their service, resubscribing. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Glad to have you here along for the ride. Absolutely good to have you. So we are trying to we're trying to connect with a guest from Brussels, Belgium, who is a game developer who is going to be sharing their game with us. But we have not been able to make contact here at right prior to going live. Spoke earlier in the day, so just trying to give them the opportunity to get in touch and connect with us so we can get them on screen and share their game. How about you, Mr. Coles? How's your day been? Any progress on your work? Let's see. Oh, we got this going. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, here we go. I think we've actually got the video coming out of the chest loot location proper now. Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. Well, everybody, please stand by. It looks like we are trying to get connected here with Leo. So we'll get that rolling for you and take a look at that game. All right, let's see. Got all 4 of the videos I've delivered, converted, and in the mix. Very cool. That'll be fun to see tomorrow, hopefully. Although I saw that your work that you were doing there on your last stream, it was looking pretty good. Words don't word today. Still. That's funny. There we go. And cool. All right. Thank you guys for jumping in and joining us here. It looks like we are getting connected. Oh, and we lost our connection. So hopefully drafting the agenda now. Very cool. Very cool. Oh. All right. Let's see. Well, while we try to get the connection issues sorted, what else do we got going on that we can share? I don't know. For anybody who's Las Vegas local, we got IGDA tomorrow. Come one, come all. Enjoy some little demos and stuff from several developers getting ready for Level Up next month. So we've got that coming up, Level Up Convention. Next month here in Las Vegas. GDC just wrapped, so I don't know if there's anybody here who went to GDC, has any fun stories to share. And let's see, what else do we got coming up next week here on the stream? Our Huge, which includes our Game Jelly Night on Friday night, where you can see 4 of us working on developing a game. We'll get back to that production on Friday. Let's see. It looks like, I don't know if you can. Yeah. Hey, I hear you.
Oh my god! I finally got it to work. There you go. Nothing happens easily.
No problem. Are you able to also join with camera?
I thought I could, but
Okay.
it seems something. Okay, turn camera on. Maybe that button is supposed to do that. Okay. Let's see.
All right. Give us one moment, and then we'll do a proper intro. All right. Very cool. We got you. All right. So, computer, if you could open up a channel then.
Opening new communication channel. Connecting to Brussels, Belgium.
There we go. And welcome in Leo Gonsalves, or Leo. Is it Leo or?
I can work with whatever. I've been in, like so many different countries that the pronunciation is I respond to it. It's 3 letters. Like you can't get it wrong.
Well, I mean, you don't want me just making up anything,
It
so.
works. Don't worry. But yeah, in my home country, it's Leo. But Leo is the American way. Leo is the European way. It works.
Yes, yes. Figured. All right. Well, Leo, welcome, and glad to have you here. Better late than never. So we appreciate you coming in and working through the tech problems, trying to get connected. Thank you so much. What we want to do is kind of get to know you a little bit and introduce your game, Decolonizer. So we'll share a little bit about that, and let's see. We can even pop some gameplay up here on the screen. We got some screenshots, and then we'll do some gameplay shortly and stuff. But first of all, let me just grant you the official welcome. Glad you could make it
Thank you.
on. Being here from Belgium, I know it's like the middle of the night for you, and so this is not the
Yeah.
most convenient time. Thank you for, sacrificing that time and joining us.
Yes, it's my pleasure. To be honest, the wait kind of like 2 hours passed very quickly once I closed my eyes. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it'll do that. So cool. If anybody, as we talk, I've got plenty of questions I'll throw your way. But if anybody here
Please.
in the community, if you guys have questions, comments, please feel free to drop them in chat, and we'll throw them his way as we are able. Definitely appreciate you being here. So. Without further ado, why don't you give us a little bit of introduction about yourself and your game?
Yeah. So I'm Leo. I go by Four Loop Cowboy online. Uh, and yeah, I'm a software developer. I've been doing software development since I guess I found that I wanted to make that my career. But I've been tinkering with computers like ever since I was like 5, 2. I don't know. I have pictures of me with little toy computers like in my hand when I was a kid. So I always wanted to make interactive stuff that people had fun with. And I've been doing that in the form of web development for a while, and always like on the side trying to learn a bit more about
Hmm.
how to, get these things done. And I feel like I've been doing that for so long, but without the, I guess, confidence to put something out there. That last year I was like, oh my god, like let's do it. Like I need to do this, like full game end to end. Let's put a plan together and like actually do it. Like I'm tired of doing these
Yeah,
just prototypes and so on.
sure, sure.
So yeah, so I put together a tower defense game, which is with classic genre, well established, and one of the things like one of my favorite genres when I that I used to play when I was a kid. I don't have the time to play tower defense games anymore, so I only play my own at this point, which is well, I don't know, questionable, right? Like I need to do some research and so on to keep up to date with the trends, but I feel like tower defense is old man's genre.
I can relate so much. You're absolutely right. Tower defense is definitely a popular genre. Everybody's always commenting that they like it. But I'm the same way. I actually have to schedule time in my week to uh, to play a
Don't worry,
game.
mom. I like that you guys switched it because like it's in the name. It's a twist in the name, like so. Sorry. Go on. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Responding to chat here.
I gotcha. Yeah. But no. I mean, I have to actually schedule it on the agenda to play games. Otherwise, yeah, I don't either. It's like
What has
I
become
get
of us, right?
right. You get so caught up in development that it's just sort of like you lose track of what's going on out there, what everybody else is doing, and so I have to kind of force myself to. But anyhow, yeah, cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking about it. While we talk about this, I'm gonna go ahead and put up a gameplay trailer here. You guys can kind of see a little bit of what this looks like, and so forth. Um, Very cool, very cool. Tell us a little bit about it. Like, what makes it? You can already see it's unique and stands out from most tower
Yeah. Can I? Oh, sorry. This is such an amateur question, but like,
defense games. Oh, go ahead.
how can I see the stream?
Oh,
like
yeah,
just
no
waiting
problem.
to see.
Yeah, if
Or do I
you,
need to open it on another window? How does this
yeah,
work?
open it in another tab, and if you go to twitch.tv/golden character design, you should be able to see the actual stream. You'll be surprised if you haven't seen it at this point. You'll be surprised at what you're looking at. It's a different window.
It actually looks pretty decent. I mean, like, sorry guys, there's not even a gameplay trailer. Like, it's really amateur hour. Like, I really gotta work on my press stuff, like publication. There's so much of like work on the side that I'm discovering that you have to do this public stage. You know, like it's my very first experience, I guess.
But don't stress. We don't have high standards. It's okay.
It's not about having standards. Not like I feel like honestly, this is about like, it's precisely why I'm doing this. You know, like, it's my very first like publication, so to speak, in the game world. So I'm bound to make mistakes. No shame there, you know.
Well, it was commented. The menus, your UI interface and your polish. It's really nice in a lot of this. Just a little bit of what the game kind of encompasses.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, like I want to use this, right, so I can just kind of like develop my finger off my things on my list to struggle to find what that is. I feel like for Recolonizer, however you want to spell it's just like trying to like keep it as classic as possible, but kind of doing its own thing in its own way, right? So I wanted the UI to be very about it, much about it. The original design was basically like you're on the beach, there's no UI, from the right, very basic thing you like. But then I was like everybody tries to zoom in, zoom out. Like why am I restricted? Like it's the big everything, I guess. Give a bit more space. Why don't I put multiple locations? You know, like since it's an island, you have different beaches that you can hit, you know, and then maybe multiple islands. You know, and then really mess with the player, like putting like this random perspective, you know, many fronts to fight on. And then besides that, it's just every house is like you're the only one running, there's no other resources. What do you upgrade? Like, I mean, like, I felt like there's so many different stats that you have to deal with behind the scenes. Why don't I mess with the player? Expose all those to them. You figure out your own cannon, your own damage, your own range, your own fire rate. You can customize whatever. Just smash the upgrade. You know? And I felt like it felt so like rewarding to just spam upgrades and then to style. Okay, make your effect really
Okay.
that's the game. You know, you need to defend multiple places and upgrade your cannons. That's it. You know?
Very cool.
And
very
then the
cool.
UI, the minimal UI, just kind of develops with it. And I'll tell you, like I kind of very self-critical about it. Like I feel like whenever I try to make it better, I make something else less intuitive. So I left the UI as it is right now because I feel like it's nice big buttons for mobile and that's it. You know, I wanted to keep it minimal. And yeah, I don't know. We can go on and on and on about the pros and cons of the UI there, but I felt like, yeah,
It's
I reached the point that I don't want to touch it anymore.
it's always tough to figure out, how much more do you keep adding to make it more and more polished and nicer, and how at what point is enough enough. So yeah, I think it's good if you
Yeah,
figured that out. That's good.
yeah. I'll tell you, this is the third iteration, right?
Okay.
I did first iteration, got some very negative feedback, and
Ooh.
I realized that okay, it looked cool on paper, you know, like, but let me shift some things around, and then I was like, ah, man, I'm still. I don't know, like if you could tell, like, and there's some early screenshots if you go on itch, where the game is published, like you can see that before, like when you clicked on a place to build, all of the cannons would appear like projected right where the mouse was, and that created a lot of issues, with the floating thing like on the screen. It could be anywhere on the screen. So I was like, okay, like I need to do one final thing. I'm gonna move this to a fixed place in the screen, so it's easier. Like you always know where the cannons will be, and then that is how I'm gonna leave it. And the polished UI, I guess you mean like crisp icons, font choice, color choice. I feel like that's kind of like a thing that I've been doing so long in web development that like it was literally the first step, that was there from
Right,
the first,
gotcha.
literally the first commit. I have
Okay.
these little like PNG files that I use in Unity. Do you use Unity as well in your development? I forgot.
I do, yes.
Yeah, so you know how you can like edit the sprite to set its borders and stuff,
Hmm.
and then you use the sliced image so you can have like basically any PNG fit any size, and I have those, a few of those that I use for all my UI elements, and it does wonders to think about color choice, font choice, and what the UI identity of the game will be early on.
Right, yep.
Because then like that's what makes it look polished. Like you said, you polished UI. I was kind of like, oh, like it's only the third iteration. Like it doesn't look that polished to me. But then it's like that's what people mean. Like it's just giving it a bit of thought early on, and sticking to your design choices.
Yeah.
For these fundamental things, and then the rest you can kind of like get based on feedback.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, a couple of things. First off, I want to mention to everybody in our viewer audience that if you want to check out the game, please be sure to check the link. There's a link to the web page there in our About page right here on Twitch. Just check the About. There's a links section right there at the top of the links. You'll be able to connect to the web page where you'll be able to connect to his socials or to the itch.io gameplay. So all that's available there in that link. So check that out. And also, I wanted to follow up. You mentioned that, your devlog and kind of the iterations of this. So just to kind of call out that these are available on YouTube. And I was actually pretty impressed. I know it's not the game, but the work that you put into your devlog video, actually, I'm going to put this up. Here's the first devlog. We'll roll this on screen. You put a lot of work into actually editing
Hello,
and
cowboys and
polishing
cowgirls.
your
Welcome to
devlog
the very
video.
first devlog on my game,
Right.
Recolonizer. A tower defense game
That's
where you
nice.
defend your shores against waves of invading
I'm doomed to be a
ships.
perfectionist,
In this series, I'll be
unfortunately,
walking you through the journey of developing this
Well,
game from
if you look at
scratch,
this-
sharing
slap together,
everything
like,
from the
audio
so
and, like,
ideas
a
to the
blank
final
screen,
polish.
like-
So
Although I
today,
feel like
let's see
I-
how it
I
all
watch
began.
YouTube videos like that, so I'm like, they're out there. They have an audience. Why don't I allow
Recolonizer
myself
started
that?
with one core
And then I
idea.
sit to edit.
Let's go back to
and then a
basics and
week
make an
later, I'm
honest-to-God
like, okay,
tower
I got
defense
10
game.
minutes of video.
For context, I'm a software engineer who has spent
Well,
the past 4
you're
years
talking to
making
somebody, if
little
you look at
Unity
this
things
Twitch
on my free time.
environment, the
It
screen
didn't
that
amount
we're
to games
broadcasting
because
on
it didn't
here,
scope them
you can
correctly.
kind of see that I have
Also,
a
I
little
didn't
bit of
start
an
out with a
obsession
clear,
with
concise concept.
detail,
I was
too,
afraid to
so-
commit. Also, a little
Yeah,
too
yeah,
eager to
I
try
feel
different
like-
features and elements.
little-
So we
tend
ended
to
up
go a
with
little
an array
overboard
of
sometimes,
incohesive,
but it's fun.
unfinished little
But it's
side
nice.
projects.
It's
Yeah.
nice, because like
Also, this
I don't
very
know, I
nice
really
low
like
poly
the-
pirate asset
like,
pack,
the
which
format
sat
of, like,
unused in my library.
PowerPoint
After
presentation,
being on a
so I feel
One
like it
Piece
gives it
binge
kinda, like,
for
a
the
light
past month and a
academic
half,
feel to it, so.
I knew that was gonna change.
And also gives me a format, like I have something to kind of like
As an
strive
avid tower
towards,
defense
and
enjoyer in my younger years, I
not
had
let the
plenty of
quality
inspiration to
falter on
draw
any
from.
of the
So I
parts.
took
But
it
it's
to
very
the
hard
drawing
do it
board
by
and
yourself,
created Cannon vs.
Like,
Pirate Ship,
the
a
devlogs
cheap
are
Plants
insanely
vs.
time
Zombies
consuming,
clone,
and I
where the
haven't,
cannons would
found
shoot
how
their
to,
designated lanes and
be
the ships
able to
would
put
approach from the
consistently
horizon,
use them.
also
Like,
in
the
their
devlog
designated
is your
lanes,
YouTube, I'm talking about the,
maybe
like,
change
developments that I
lanes,
made months ago.
something like that.
And
But
this,
my
this
plan
is
was
good
as
stuff
solid
if
as a
anybody wants to
sandcastle,
check
and
this
the
out
first
and
wave of
see the
creativity
process
already
of him
started to
developing
melt
this
the
game.
rigid lanes idea
I
away.
definitely recommend checking out this video.
And when I
as he-
started to
as he
draw
really
some
does
level
walk
ideas,
through,
I found myself
his
deeply
whole
constrained by
process
the
from
idea of keeping
concept,
everything in a grid. It just
through-
felt like it
through
didn't fit the
what we're
theme
seeing
or the
now,
visuals,
so.
And it didn't
Very
seem
cool.
like it would make
Very
for
cool.
the gameplay
Yeah, I
to be
appreciate
more
it.
engaging in any way.
Absolutely. No, as somebody who
puzzled.
does development
format do I
and
choose?
editing and
Let's actually look at the
devlogs,
technical
I
requirements
get
and see
what you
which one's
put
more
into
costly.
this
Oh my
and
God.
streaming.
Maybe they'll get me to
and,
choose one.
You know, and
Hello from your left
yeah,
ear.
it's
Let's take a
it
look at
gets
what I need
worse.
to code
But
to
anyhow,
write my game in
yeah, no,
lane
it's
format
good
versus
stuff.
freeform.
One of the things that
For
I've
lane,
come to just
we
do
need a
with my
ship which
devlog
follows the
stuff
spline
because it
from
was
the
so
horizon
time
to,
consuming is
you know,
I
shores.
just try to do dev
Cannons that aim and
sessions
fire
here on my
chips.
stream and record it and then just
Locations to
slap
place
it
the cannons.
on YouTube.
And
I
some
don't
logic
even
to
edit
filter
them,
and
you
sort
know,
the targets.
not in a
I guess
while,
shooting
so
only the lane.
I can't keep up.
Freeform, we need
Yeah,
a ship that
perfectly
follows the spline,
understandable, to be
a
honest.
cannon that
Yeah.
aim and
So let me
fire
ask you,
chips,
with your
locations to
game,
place the cannons,
you said
some logic
that
to wait.
you know,
I
you
guess I'll
don't
decide when I'm
even
making
get a
the level.
chance to play, like, you like tower defense, but you don't even get a chance to play
I
other
didn't want
tower
to sit on this
defense
conundrum
games.
any longer,
So pretty much
I just move
your
on
own.
to
So
the core
tell us
gameplay
then,
interactions.
what makes your own tower defense game kind of stand out from
So,
or appeal
how
to
do you play
other than the
Recolonizer?
fact that you're the
Well,
designer?
at any point in
what
the
is
game,
it
the
that
player
went
can do
into
one of
it
two things.
that
Buy new
makes
cannons
it stand
or
out,
upgrade
makes
existing
it
cannons.
appeal to you over
Upgrading
other
cannons
games of
exposes a
the-
list of upgrades to choose from.
Yeah,
And
so
buying a
I'm
cannon
gonna speak with
will
this
expose a
without
list
much
of
property, as I
cannons to
said,
buy.
you know, like, I
When
don't
you
have
select
much
an
to
upgrade
do.
or
I'm
a
actually,
building,
like,
you get a summary
I'm proud to
of
say
the
that I've
upgrade or
done,
building that you
like,
just
inserted
selected
into my
in the
agenda
confirmation
going
screen.
into the
It seemed like a
the tower
great idea
defense
at the
tag
time.
and kind of like trying to see, you
Right?
know, play the competitors to see
Right?
what's going on, you know. And so I based on that small amount of research, very small amount
Cool.
of research.
That's enough to get the gears
I think
going
what
and
makes it
start
unique
putting
is-
zeros and
is
ones
kinda
on the hard
the-
drive.
You know, the
First things
simplicity of
first,
it all
I set up a
and
new
kinda
Unity
the fact that
project
you have,
and
like,
started
such
building the foundation.
granular upgrade structure, but at the same time very simplistic like gameplay, you know.
Let me
I
share
found,
with
like,
you an
with the
industry
tower
secret.
defense games
Your
out
time
there
is
on the
limited.
market,
You can't
you
do
either
everything,
have the
and even if you
classics,
could,
which are the
it would take
well-established,
forever.
like Bloons, TD,
So,
you know,
I
like,
use some tools to make my life easier.
oh my God,
Namely,
I forgot.
3D
I
low
just
poly
literally read on
assets,
the screen
particularly
there,
from
like
Cinti.
the
I love the aesthetic. It's
Kingdom
pretty
Rush,
easy to
you know, there's
customize
the
if I
other
need
one.
to, and most of all has probably saved me a
and all of
million
these
hours of
others,
acid
like I
preparation.
feel like they either have like
To
their own
quickly
very
build a
unique thing,
natural
you know, Bloons is the
terrain with
balloon,
great
like each
ambiance,
balloon has,
I
like,
choose
layers,
Polaris
so you need to
tools.
pop the
It's
layers
a
of
great
the balloon
package
and so on.
toolset that comes with a
Uh,
water simulator,
Kingdom
day
Rush
and
is
night
like
cycle,
you
but
have
most
different
importantly,
towers
a
that have
powerful
the
low poly terrain
soldiers,
builder.
right? So you have
Well, I guess the water is
kinds
also
of
important too.
ways to
You
interact.
can find all
with
the tools I use
with
for
the
this game
path,
in the description below.
right? And mine I feel like is the upgrade structure and the
I spent a bit of
multiple
time
locations, you know?
coming up with a
Like,
tiny island
you have this
with
very
some nooks and
expensive
crevices that the
3D
ship
world,
could
which
approach
I feel
from.
like is quite
And I
unique
put some
for
low poly
tower
palm trees
defense
to make it
games.
look decent.
Um,
Some rocks too.
And I've only
Seems
seen
like a nice
one
start.
other one that I'm also
I'll
actually
put the
like,
fixed
following
camera
quite closely
right
now 'cause
here.
It looks really good.
Seems
what
good
the
enough to
creator's
me.
doing with it.
With the
It's called
environment
Last
set,
Fuse.
it was time to
The
create
twist
the
on
most
that one is that
important
you're building a
mechanic,
nuke,
the cannon.
and it's also
This is
like
where
a
things get
3D
fun.
world, and the nuke, you know, can be used.
Let's think about
if it's
this.
overused, it can blow
The
your
cannon
base
needs
up.
to shoot perfectly on
so on.
target every time.
But like that's the
But
only other one.
it must
like,
shoot some
3D
physics
one
projectile,
that I've seen in the market, and
to add
that
some
one
dynamic
also
to it.
interestingly like quite big.
Also,
you can, like,
it would be nice
you
if
know,
it
like
could aim in the
RTS your way,
direction it's
like, all the
shooting
way to the
for
space,
visual,
I think,
you
and
know.
like under the sea,
And
so
it
on.
would be crucial for it to
But
detect and
I
keep
think
track
mine
of its
is
target.
quite unique because you can kind of still have this camera.
I've always
quality
been
to the
interested in
locations, you know,
physics,
you can't
but
just
somehow was
freely
never
move
able
around
to
everywhere.
do physics well.
Kind of stuck to these
You know,
defensive
break down the
positions, and you
problem,
kinda have to
apply the
shoot for them
formulas,
like
etc.
like you're watching.
But I knew
a
exactly
security
what I
camera
wanted,
system.
Right.
and I
So
knew
that's kind of what
somebody who
makes it
could
unique.
translate human
But
language
gameplay-wise,
to
it's very
math
standard,
language
you know, it's just
for
like
physics,
ships
and
galore,
then translate
you
that
shoot
into
them,
C#
you have a creative way
language
to
for
upgrade.
Unity. My
Gotcha.
boy Chad.
Gotcha. All right.
ChatGPT.
So I know you
Can you give
mentioned.
me like 10
Ask
seconds to get some water?
Given
Yeah,
any
of
initial
course,
position,
absolutely.
a final
Hear you.
position,
Go
Be right
and
back.
a
right
projectile
ahead.
speed number, write the C#
Take a
function
moment
for
to
Unity
thank everybody
that returns
again
a
for
vector
stopping
3
in.
representing the
Appreciate you
necessary
being here and
initial
along for the
velocity
ride
to launch an
as we
object
take
to
a
land
cruise
at a final
with,
position
Leo,
from initial position
Leo
using simple
Gonsalves,
Newtonian mechanics
Gonsalves,
and assuming all necessary
who
constants
is the
or pull them from the
creator
Unity physics system if
of
available.
Decolonizer. So,
And I'm back.
all right. Welcome back, and
And the machine
yeah,
writes
so
code for me.
you mentioned earlier,
Although I like to rescind all credit,
kind of at the top,
is
you,
using
you
a large
talked about
language
the
model
fact that
that much
one of
less
the things that
honorable
led you to
than writing
creating this
formula
was
on a
just sort of
calculator
you've been
and
doing
pressing
a lot
enter.
of like web
My
development
formula is just a
and
string of words
various
in English instead of
small
math.
prototype type
Sorry.
projects, and you just wanted to get something
I
done.
do know
so
enough
was
about
that
physics to tell that
the
this formula
real
is an
drive and
approximation,
motivation
and I
behind
shouldn't
this
add
game? Was there
drag or
something
any other
else that
outside forces to
inspired
affect the
you, or the
projectile at
theme?
risk of affecting the cannon's accuracy.
Yeah,
Although adding drag
absolutely.
could be a temporary effect to nerf
I
the
mentioned
cannon's range
some,
without
I
changing
think
its range
once
stat if I want to
twice
do
on social
something like
media
that in the future.
I'm like
Food for thought.
a bit of a history nerd, a bit of a
After getting the cannon ballistics to work, I put together a script to make the cannon aim the turret base and the barrels separately.
So I wanted to
I
do
know what you're
something like
thinking.
that, you know,
I
like,
asked
kinda like
ChatGPT
tell a
for this one too,
story
right? And
within
you're right,
like
I did. But
a
it
fake
just gave me
historical
garbage,
context,
so
but based,
yeah, I guess I
inspired,
have
and,
to write my own
referencing
stuff
real history.
sometimes.
You know, kind of that's
Here it
what I
is.
wanted to do. But like, I'm still very like
Perfect. Now that the
what's
cannon
the
knows how
expression?
to aim on
Like,
target
you're,
and
like,
shoot on
like,
target, we just
stuck
need to
on,
give
and you
him
can't
a
progress
target.
on like
So
writer's block.
let's
I have, like, a
figure
writer's
out a way
block
to
on,
identify enemies,
Gotcha.
on the
sort them by
narrative
priority,
part, right? So I figured like
which
let's
one the
let me
user
make
may be
something
able to
simple
control,
that doesn't
and then feed this information
have
to
to
the aim
sell
component.
itself based on the story part.
Choose to keep each type
And
of
then I'll
object
try
in a
to
separate
insert the
layer,
story,
and to
as
tag
like
the
kinda
root of
like
important
a
objects. So
buffer in
enemies are in
between
the
levels
actor
or
layer
something, and
for
that's kinda
dynamic
how I
objects and tagged with
conceptualized
enemy ship.
Recolonizer or
So cannons
Recolonizer.
can detect
I wanted to
objects
tell a
using
story
the sphere
about
collider as a
anti-colonialism,
trigger,
right?
filter
Like,
by
that's
tag,
the kind
sort
of
by
the theme.
priority,
And I've been
closest
kind of
enemy
writing it
first, just
in
to,
the background
get
and
started.
kind of trying to put the narrative
And here's
together.
how it looks.
I've been watching a lot of One Piece like last year when I started this. So I was like, okay, like there's a lot of inspiration there. And I was like, okay, I wanted to do something like that. You know, like how Oda is like referencing a lot of different historical events through the lens of his anime or his manga. I wanted to kind of do the same. You know, kind of like go through these different locations. You know, like the narrative brings you to these different islands that you have to defend, and you kind of play along with.
As
you
a
know, like,
professional
you don't have much
front-end
control of the
developer,
story, but
making
you kind of
Unity
like
UI
you're given the
is
reins
an
to defend
interesting
the island for
experience.
whatever reason. The
Nonetheless,
narrative tells
I
you to,
painfully
you know, that's kind
implement
of-
the initial
and the
design,
narrative doesn't
hook up
exist
some
there
functions
yet,
to
you know,
create
like,
ships,
It's gonna be a future release.
and there we
if
have
this
it,
gets enough
our
traction,
first alpha
or
build.
when I get around to actually putting the. I have an idea for an adventure mode. We can get into it later. But that's kind of the inspiration, you know. Like I want to write my little.
And that wraps up the
alternate
basics of how
history
Recolonizer
narrative at
was
some point
born.
On top of this.
Looking at the
Cool,
finished
cool.
demo,
So it's
I'm
available
definitely
on
feeling
itch
a
right
bit
now,
stuck
and
with the
then
fixed
you're
tagline.
working on
Also, I
developing
feel
it
like my
further,
level design
adding
is
some
a
story,
bit too
adding some more
constricted by
to it,
the
so that
Plants
you
vs.
can
Zombies style lane
work
defense.
to release it on
So,
Steam and
I want to
mobile.
dream
Is
bigger,
that correct?
and I start thinking about a more flexible lane design,
Yes,
and allow
that's
players
exactly
to move the
it.
camera a bit, even if they are pinned to a
I already
specific
have like
position.
pretty much
I
everything.
really
set
have in
up,
mind
just
this
waiting
idea
for
where you
some-
have
some legal
zones
stuff
where you
in
have
the
to
background,
defend, and the camera
so I
spin
can
to the zone
put
like
it
a
under the
security
right,
camera.
you know,
Let's see how it pans
like
out.
tax information and so on.
I do love the
But,
aesthetic and the
yeah,
foundations.
that's the plan.
I
wanna
think once
polish
I
it a
add a
bit
few more
more,
ships,
and then
islands,
put it
and
on
cannons,
Steam,
this might
put it
actually
on
be fun
iOS,
to play.
Put it on Android as well. Hopefully, at
Thank
some
you for
point.
watching.
I need
If
to
you enjoyed
find an
this,
Android
don't
to
forget
be
to
able
like,
test with.
subscribe, and follow along as we develop Recolonizer
but yeah,
together.
that's the plan.
Drop any
Polish it a bit
questions or thoughts in the
more
comments
and
below. I'd love to
commercialize
hear
it
what you
outside
think.
of itch, you know.
By the way,
I want to have it out for free for mobile, so it's easily accessible for everyone. And then yeah, have it on a very small price tag for the paid platforms and so on.
Gotcha. Hey, apologies. Thank you, Maz, for speaking up and saying something about the audio. I didn't even realize there was audio playing on the on that devlog. It doesn't make sense to have any audio going. I hear nothing on my end, so I everything was
Yeah, I
sounding
muted the stream.
perfectly good to me. So my apologies. Thank you, Maz, for chiming in on that. So we got that off. So sorry about that. All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, so getting feedback was important for stage one. Obviously, you made a lot of changes after you got feedback from the initials. So are you still kind of, I'm assuming, open and receptive to feedback at this stage on the game from the itch.io? Do people have a way to provide that to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Feedback is insanely necessary. Like, especially at this point, you know, because I feel like it's getting to a really like solid point. So whatever feedback is coming now is like after like I already figured out a lot of the big issues, you know. So whatever people are catching now is because it's already like haven't been dealt with, you know, like after several layers of feedback. So it's very important at this stage, and it was throughout, you know. And in itch it's quite good, you know, like there's a lot of different mechanisms of feedback, and one of the ones is like a game jam that I joined now. It's like a special jam that you can post your game after it's already been made, you know, like it's a post jam. So I'm getting some feedback through there now. It's quite nice, but I haven't gotten as much traction I was hoping. You know, it's quite hard to climb the rankings, but I feel like I'm making solid progress. I feel like I have a semi consistent audience now, like on the Twitch browser, you know, community. Just people that come back to play every day. Um, but yeah, man, I feel like it's hard to get those feedbacks. You know, like people play and it's very hard to tell like what the experience people are having. You know, the average player is having, because people come to play not to give feedback. You know, so
Right.
I definitely need to insert some analytics in the game at some point so I can get a better idea without anyone needing to tell me. You know,
Right.
but it's a
Well,
future step. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to that.
I hear that. Well, for anybody here watching, if you want to get on itch.io, it's available there. You can play and you can provide feedback or just check it out. Appreciate that. To answer Maz's first question, it
Yeah.
is. I don't know if completed is the right word. I'll let you answer that. But
Yeah.
there's a version available to play, but he's still working on another version to release Steam and mobile later. So is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's good summary. So Maz, basically, I would say it's a finished game in a way, but you know the work is never over. I want to do like more with it, and I have two major expansions that I'm planning, and I feel like once I'm done with the first one, I feel like I'm already ready to release. And these two expansions are like infinite mode, so you can play the tower defense for as long as you want. I feel like that's a classic tower defense thing, that I need to bring. It's a necessary part. I feel like for the genre. And the second is a story mode, so I can bring the actual inspiration that I had, like to life, and also give you some like a way to build upon your progress, because I feel like right now it's very roguelike in a way. Like you kind of like each time you start the level you start from zero, and that's fine, but I wanted to have that progress. Like a lot of people ask me, like I upgraded my cannon all the way and now it's gone. It's like, come on, like why can't you bring it to the next level? And I can't find a good reason to not let the player do that. So I, I want to kind of bring into like you have your own little ship and you have limited storage, so you need to choose which cannons you bring onto the
Oh, I
next
like
level.
that. I like that.
And you have a
Yeah,
small, like a limited sized chest, so you can only bring so much money. So you're encouraged to invest as much as possible. Not save too much.
I
And
like that.
that's kind of
Yeah,
how what I want to do.
into a
But yeah,
roguelite. Yeah, I like that. That's a good approach. Very
yeah.
cool.
What's the hardest part of development? What is the hardest part of development? I feel like is doing like trying to accomplish things, like implement and have a mechanic that you haven't implemented before. Like I feel like there are certain things that repeat themselves and or rhyme at least, in game development, character controllers and so on, like camera movements. There's things that come easier to me. I feel like the hardest part on this one was the camera by like 100%, because I was stupid and I was like, okay, like I have an idea, seems pretty simple, let's go do it. Let's do it and try. And yeah, I made a lot of mistakes getting the camera I wanted from that, because like yeah, I hadn't done the RTS camera from scratch, and yeah, like it was like a bit of a nightmare to figure out where I went wrong. And turns out the answer was just like having to read about it and see how other people had done it, and it was like, okay, much clearer now. But that's kind of like stumbling steps, like when you take that and you're doing that for several different features, it adds up very quickly. And you create such a huge tech debt, and like adding bugs or adding like little quirks in the game, and 3 or 4 of those hacked together features in your game is considered buggy, and it's considered like janky or whatever, and at some point like you're like, oh, how did it get to that point, like it's I spent a month on a single feature, and it still gets to that point. It's like, yeah, like the less experienced you are with a given feature, the more time it's going to take to get it to a polished state, and that's for everything, so a huge advantage I had with this game is that like maybe 85% of the game was like built on existing codes that I already had from my like tinkering era,
Nice.
So a lot of that's solved most of the problems. Like as I said, like the gameplay loop was finished on the first commit. I literally put together all of the old code that I had, and I had a game. And then it was just about figuring out what I would do with it to make it actually fun.
Gotcha. Very cool. So you mentioned game jams too. So are you still participating in anything recent, or have you been just focused on this game for a stretch?
Yeah, I'm actually quite stretched thin in different projects. I'm still a software engineer, and I still got like my actual job. So like this is the only game jam I found that I could put my game that's already made. Because I feel like it's so I can't find the motivation to go and do a new game on a game jam. That's like such a huge endeavor to me. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I need the time to plan it and to think about the game. The rush about like putting something out quick. Like I feel like I need a team. And I don't have like a network of other game developers that I know to get together and put a game jam game out. So I just don't participate. The only one that I've done is this recent one, right? The post jam. You can post something that you already done and
Yeah.
modified. But that's about it. But I do want to participate in one of the classic ones. Like there's the Brackies one is quite popular.
Very.
I feel like it's a muscle I'm getting a bit atrophied. Uh, Need to stretch it out, like the
Right.
working with constraints, working with a theme. Like those are important things that I want to get back to doing once I
Sure.
have a bit more time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, hopefully we'll be able to help make some connections here within the dev community. You talked
hope so. That
about,
would be nice.
we definitely, that's what we're trying to accomplish. One of the things that we're looking to do with this stream is just, really get to know additional developers and introduce you into a new community. And I know you're all the way around the world from Brussels, but hey, we're all doing the same thing. We're all plugging through, and there's a lot of people who will listen to this and be able to really relate to a lot of these same issues and topics. So for sure. So
Let
yeah,
me
Maz.
answer,
Yeah, go
Maz is
ahead.
throwing some questions here.
You got it.
So I did not start with an existing camera component. I made it from scratch. Like you can see, like there's a whole section. I feel like a way too long section in my second devlog talking about it. But yeah, I started from zero. I had an idea of how the camera would move. I slapped it together in a day in code and was living with that code for weeks, like before I decided to throw it out and use like someone else's example to base my solution upon. But yeah, I do have used Cinemachine. That's a very useful package that kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like is needed to complete the solution. It doesn't work on its own.
Yeah.
And yeah, Unity. I'm using Unity. I've tried Unreal before, but I don't know, too heavy. Like I wanted to make an accessible light game, and with Unreal you can't really get that. I feel.
Yeah.
Plus, it takes so long to build, man. Like, have you tried the Unreal?
I personally, I haven't. No, I've only been
Yeah.
working in Unity, and as you mentioned, Cinemachine is a great tool, but there is a learning curve. It's not as drag and drop as you'd kind of think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. All right,
And
cool.
yeah.
If
That's it.
if anyone else has questions for Leo here, please drop them in the chat. Let us know before we get close to our time here. We want to be sure to throw them your way. One question that always comes up, it hasn't yet, but I try to beat. Oh, same time. It came up in chat right as I was asking it. It's always the question. So she got there. She got there right at the same time as I. What's your all-time favorite game? Like, what do you know? I know you don't have much time to play, but obviously something started the journey.
Yes. That's a tough question. That's a tough question because like just like music, I feel like my favorite game comes in waves, in periods, and
Yeah.
whatever I'm going. Like I feel like I'm very obsessive kind of gamer. Like I get a game and I play only that game, and then I play obsessively. Like I stop developing to play that game. I play for hours and like just locked in. And then I drop it and I play it very rarely. But honestly, like I feel like Souls games have had such a huge impact in the way I see games, as like a medium with intent, like with like is when I first started, like the game design like jumped out at me, and stared me in the face and humiliated me many times, in a given area. And I was like, this is amazing, I want more of this. And then I finished pretty much every Souls game I could get my hand on. So I guess I would say like Elden Ring, right? Because it's the most recent one. Like I feel like it's the one that they really like. You can really see the end result of 20 years of iteration on an idea, by a passionate group of developers. Like I feel like that plus the game itself, like the amount of things you can do in it, like Elden Ring for sure. But I'm a huge fan of like immersive sims. So like shout outs to uh, Dishonored there. I felt like Dishonored also played a huge role in developing my gamer taste, so to speak. Right?
Very cool. Very cool. It looks like Royal Pain's in agreement with you there.
Yeah.
For sure.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
Very cool. So, what about looking forward? Do you think, do you see yourself investing time, continued time to get these story and infinite expansions built on this game before you move on to something else? Do you have another project in the back of your mind that you'd like to get to? What are you thinking after this?
Yeah. So I definitely want to give a bit of support to this game because, as I said, I want to go all the way with it. And the two things that I really want to do, besides the actual gameplay stuff, I want to monetize it with ads on mobile. Something I wanted to learn as well. And have the DLC to unlock the ads. So I can still allow it to be free. And do I wanted to continue making levels for this game. If I never get around time to actually expand the gameplay, like I like making little islands and adding more levels and so on. So at least that is gonna be a support I can guarantee for this game. But yeah, I do plan on spending some more time with it. Like I feel like I got enough of a good response that regardless, like I will eventually get around to doing the things I talked about before. As for other projects, not sure. Right, I have some other like professional things going on right now. Like I'm building a platform for visualizing and dealing with the carbon credit market. That's something that's gonna take a lot of my time in the future. But games wise, I had this crazy idea that I really wanted to get around to doing. Right, like as I said, I really like uh, immersive sim games, kind of like role playing, like you're dropped into a world with a goal and you kind of have to accomplish it by interacting with the many things the world lets you interact with, right? With Dishonored is like you can open like doors, you can like manipulate people and so on, and kind of like interact with the world to assassinate someone at the end, right? Like I wanted to do something like that. Maybe you don't need to assassinate someone at the end, but like you need to accomplish some goal, right? And the way I thought that up and that idea got stuck in my head. I feel like I really need to do it now. Is you're dropped in a city. I won't mention the specific city, but it will be apparent once I, drop that idea out in the wild with like three objects. Like I was thinking like maybe like a joint, a gun, and $10, and your objective is to pay rent. at the end of the day. Like clock is ticking. Rent is due at like 12, and then you have these very like innocuous things and like the weird I don't know, like things that you don't really know how you're gonna get to the end of the day, by getting rent, and I wanted to make like a city block, with interactable buildings. You can get into some of the buildings and so on, and talk to the people, and maybe get around to some trouble in town. But by the end of the day, you need to, have the money, otherwise something's gonna happen.
Right.
But as immersive sims do, like if you don't have the money, something else should happen. Like it shouldn't just be a fail state. You should have to deal with that somehow.
Right. Right.
Like
right.
that's the dream, making an immersive sim. But I'll
Okay.
make like a demo sandbox within just like this small area of the city. I feel like that's manageable for me to do.
Sure. Sure. That all makes sense. Well, awesome. So, just to clarify, because I feel like I'm lost myself, so I apologize. Is it
tell me.
Decolonizer or Recolonizer? What's the preferred
It's
title?
Recolonizer.
Here? Okay, all right.
It's Recolonizer because I felt like decolonizer is like
Yeah.
a very like serious term and so on, so it would be hard for search results. But also like, I feel like Recolonizer is like, what do you mean Recolonizer? So I feel like it has like kind of like, but yeah, like I don't know why Recolonizer and not Decolonizer. Like I don't know, because I feel like there's like a part of like the narrative of like I feel like a lot of pro-colonization people justify it, saying like, it's like there's a conflict. There's always a conflict. Somebody took it because somebody took it from you before, and so on. So I wanted to kind of be like, take that idea that's like, it's whatever, doesn't matter. People conquer each other all the time, and be like if that's the case, then we're gonna take it back. We're gonna recolonize this land for ourselves. Like kind of that's the way I justified it in my head. But the narrative needs to really back it up. Like right now, the name is kind of like, what do you mean by that? And there's nothing to really explain it in the game.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Anything else that I haven't asked you or thrown your way in regards to the game that you want to make sure to take a moment to talk about? Like, what else would you like to share that I haven't brought up or pushed you in the direction of?
Oh yeah, like just maybe like warn. Sorry, I blew into the mic. Just a forewarning to anyone who's gonna try the game. As I said, like Souls games are my inspiration, so I didn't pull any punches with the difficulty. You might struggle a little bit, but buy cannons, upgrade stuff when you can. Don't neglect the upgrades. Don't neglect buying things. Coverage is good, upgrades are good, and get ready. Like you need to be actively playing that. Like it's not it's not a game that like your typical tower defense game. You put some towers and you just wait there. And just let things kind of happen. Up the speed. Like you need to kind of be actively like thinking about your defense for most of the levels. Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe I went a bit overboard with the difficulty.
I don't know. I mean,
To be seen, guys.
Is there
As
such
I
a
said,
thing?
It needs feedback, right?
Right. There you go. You guys let them know.
Even if the feedback is just crying about like it's too hard, level 3, I can't get past it. Perfect. I want to hear about it.
Awesome.
Oh, and actually, like I forgot to mention.
Sure.
I dropped a new update just for you guys, so I wanted to have something new. If like assuming that you guys did a bit of research, touched the game a little bit. I don't know if you did or not, but if you did, like there's a new thing that came out for you guys in the stream tonight.
Oh.
So, like, do you want to like try it? Like if you want to show on the screen, like I can guide you through like how to unlock it and stuff.
Sure, we can give it a shot here. Let's.
I'd gladly present, but I've already had enough technical difficulties. I'll leave that one to you. Like I'll let you embarrass yourself on your own stream.
Sure, I got you. All right, well, let's see. Let me go here to. I'm going to go to my About page and click on that link, which everyone else can do as well. Feel free to do that. Let's see. Here we go.
I watch you guys on the analytics. If no clicks come from Twitch, I know that you guys are not paying attention.
Well, the nice thing is we get a lot of views after the fact because, like you, there are a lot of folks who watch us from the other side of the world. So they'll watch when they get up. And so hopefully some folks will be watching this after the fact and check out your game here tomorrow or the next day. So we'll be rooting for you. All right, let's see. I'm not used to going this direction. Here we go. Got this. And we're going to go to here. We're going to hit play now. We're going to hit play. And let me take this off here and I'll share screen. There we go. All right. And so just run the game.
Yeah, just run the game. I guess I will like expose a bit myself, but there's a cheat console in this game. You can unlock certain things. So don't abuse this, guys.
Maz asks, name your own price. How will you handle charging for the add-ons? How will you distribute add-ons?
So I figured I would distribute the game full game, all the levels that I have at the time that I decide to publish the game included, and the cannons that you unlocked in those levels are going to be all included in the base price. I was thinking like a fixed price on Steam and maybe for the Mac App Store, I would put it paid on the Mac App Store. And for free on mobile, right? And as for DLC, right? So meaning future levels that I release in the future with or without new towers, they would be like maybe like I don't know, $1, $2, $5, depending. I don't know. I was thinking something like very very like just a symbolic price, and distributing them via the platform. So like iOS, you have the in-app purchases. I figure that's how you'd buy a DLC there. The Steam has the DLC mechanic, like the DLC system. I can announce a DLC as like its own kind of product. Maybe you can buy it through the app as well. Like if I manage to figure out all the APIs, but yeah, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be any surprises. Like just standard way of getting DLC in the respective platforms.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. So do we
and
just
on
want
Itch's name your own price? The game is fully free. And it will continue to be free once I release it. But I don't know if I'm going to support it on Itch once it's released, or maybe I'll make the download paid or something. Right. All right.
So we're we're getting some lag on the stream as a result. So we'll have to see how this goes, but it's definitely dropping. We might not be able to maintain this.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Let's see.
But I can tell you guys what it is, right?
Do you want me to give it a shot here?
If you want. If you feel like it's unmaintainable, then it's all right. I imagine the stream puts quite a load on the.
Especially with everything I got going on, it's a lot.
Yeah, no stress, no stress.
But
one of the tell me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the big feedbacks I got recently that kind of like was something that I had in the back of my mind, but when the feedback is spelled out to you, you're like, okay, I got to deal with this. It's one of the mechanics of my game that I guess is a unique one, but I didn't really think it was that unique. Is that you have to collect the loot by yourself. You have to click on the loot to collect, and that's quite distracting and a bit like demanding of the player. Like every ship that you sink, there's a little loot crate, and you need to click that manually. So otherwise you don't get the rewards from the ship that you sunk. So as much as I like that, like that's the distraction factor. Like that's me making you think about what you have to do now. Do you upgrade? Do you build? Do you go collect money? But now there's a way to mitigate it, to automate it. There's a new ship, which I happily called the Booty Looter, and there's no double entendres there. Is the little like rowing boat
which I also managed to animate somehow, and it turned out to looks pretty cute. And it's a little guy on a rowing boat that goes and collects the money for you, and he can only carry two boxes of money at a time. So he needs to go back to the harbor to drop it off before he collects again, and you can upgrade that, of course, uh, the ship capacity so it can keep collecting more money for you. And I'm quite proud of the results, guys. So
Very
I'll let
cool.
you decide your own opinion, but I really like how it turned out. Even happier that I managed to submit it on time, for the stream tonight.
Very cool. Well,
Because
unfortunately, it kind of crashed our stream. We're
no,
like, I don't know.
shit.
Hopefully, some folks have been able to get it going here again. It looks like if I restart here, I'm okay there. But we caused a lot of lag trying to load it in, so
No,
I had to close
forget
it
it,
out.
forget it,
So I
forget it.
apologize.
It's all good.
Yeah,
It's absolutely all
that's the
good.
danger of trying something like that live on stream. But
Yeah, I'm sorry I put you in that
oh no,
position. I
it's
should have.
okay. No worries.
I even like jinxed it in the beginning. Like my bad.
It's all good. Well, I think most folks are way behind us now, but at least we're back. We're back on, so hopefully folks are there. But it's there's quite a bit of delay, so they'll catch up. Um, and yeah, definitely check that out, guys. And sorry we couldn't show that live on stream, but check out the game and appreciate you taking the extra effort to add to it today, just on our behalf. That's very cool. Um,
Yeah, gotta have a little bit of the showbiz.
yeah. Well, like I said, if you guys are able, I greatly encourage you to show your support. Check out the website, check out the links to his socials on that website page, check out the IO game, provide feedback. He's looking for that opportunity so that he can continue to grow the game and put it out there for other platforms. And so, yeah, definitely just hopefully we can continue to build some support. Looks like Maz has a couple more questions. If you don't mind, I know it's getting kind of late.
No, we can keep going. I mean, I'm already up. I can last a few more minutes. I joined
uh,
late too, so I don't. I'll be here a bit more.
no, I mean it's all good. We're pretty flexible here, so but you're the one making the big time sacrifice.
No worries. I'll let you know when I'm 1 o'clock out.
So yeah, he said Bloons Tower Defense game had the same issue with their banana farms. You can upgrade to pay for banana
Yeah.
farmer to auto gather the loot. Um,
Yeah, that's true. I wasn't even though this game is like I played a ton of that. I never thought about like Indeed is the same problem, right? Do you know what he's talking about?
I don't.
So like the balloons is like the theme is like you have monkeys throwing darts at the balloons, right?
Okay.
So obviously the money is bananas. So you can have banana farms, and the banana farm like it kind of spits out bananas that fall on the ground, and they don't do anything until you click on them, and then they turn into money, right? Into the currency. And I guess that's what the issue that he was having. Like people were getting annoyed that they had to click on the bananas. Like, come on, I paid for the farm. Like, so you can hire, like, you can pay for a little banana farmer guy that collects it for you
Right.
and
Like,
automate that thing as well.
yeah.
So yeah,
So almost a little bit of an idle feature added to it or something to
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you, it's like the clicker games. Like I feel like
Right.
part of the
Right.
reward is setting up a intricate defense that like you can like lift your hands and it will do everything for you. That's part of the pleasure.
Right.
So it was a necessary thing. When it was brought it to me, I was like, okay, like I gotta prioritize this thing. Like it sounds like an easy feature too, to make. So let's get it out there. And yeah, plus like man, like I can't state enough how much like how cool it looked, the little guy with the rowing boat. Like the animation just worked out perfectly. Like I did the minimum amount of work, and that thing like just just worked out, and I was so happy to see it happen. It's not often that happens.
Right. Very cool. Um, and then I guess the next question was for me. He was asking if I'm streaming
Yeah.
from a laptop or PC. Yeah, I haven't touched laptops in like really almost ever. I don't do laptop computers. I try to do way too much on a computer in order to, but
Mm,
you have to understand how much stuff I have running, like even just on this stream. I have about half a dozen programs running, and then within the stream, I currently have somewhere in the vicinity of, I don't know, off the top of my head, I want to say 20 videos running, and just there's just so much going on that it's trying to keep up with. And so when I'm showing Unity and whatever, it's fine. But if I try to do anything that has any kind of like big load requirement from the network,
mm,
that's usually where I run into problem is the internet trying to do too much because I think the bandwidth there is what's restrictive. I don't think it's my PC as much as it is you
mm,
know. But anyway, that's
yeah.
slightly off
I
topic.
forget
Go
to.
ahead.
I think I asked you this when I came on stream first time. Uh, is this whole setup running on Unity, like the 3D stuff that you have, the stream
Yeah,
environment?
yes and no. So I created this environment in Unity and then I used the recorder to capture video of the Unity scene. And then I take that into um, Premiere and I
Mm,
do editing in Premiere to get things looking like I want them to. And then I capture stills and video segments that I drop in here in OBS, which is the streaming software. And then on top of that, within OBS, I create a whole nother level of stuff. So it's like one third Unity, one third video editing, and one third OBS overlays and stuff. So
Okay, so it's quite optimized. There's no like a real time 3D environment going on. That's nice. I wanted to. That's what I
yeah,
wanted to know. Like I wanted to know if you were like displaying the little cameras inside Unity and doing some sketchy stuff there, but it's okay. It's just
yeah,
like a loop, right? Like that you recorded.
yep,
It's
yep.
nice. It looks quite nice. I was very impressed with it. Like
Thank you.
it feels a bit like a Half Life, like some Half Life, like like it's like 2000s era, like polygon look. Like I know I just I can see the appeal of the style, and I'm into it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I get the impression from a lot of things we've talked about on the stream tonight that you and I are similar in a lot of ways and have
Mm-hmm.
some of the same tastes and same vices. So, I encourage you to reach out in the future. And yeah, we can follow up and see how you're doing on the game. We always like to kind of know how things progress and hear updates. So if you want to let us know when you get to that point where you're ready to do that full release, we can give another go here and show it off at that stage if you want to. So keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you want, I can reach out to you guys when I'm gonna drop the Steam page, because I feel like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a big milestone, putting it on Steam.
Yeah. That'd be great.
So I'll let you guys know, and we can have like a little, I don't know, Steam page release party, type of thing. And yeah, I would love to come back to reach out to you guys again. It's a
Cool,
pleasure to
cool,
be here.
cool. Yeah, I
I
appreciate
think
it.
Maz has more questions.
Go for it.
Can you do the tower defense as the attacking ships or the people in the land? Do you always play the same side? Hmm. So, you are always the island defending against the ships for now, right? I thought about the idea of you being the ship as well, and attacking the island. But I figured that could be a nice like idea for Recolonizer.
the multiplayer version or something, where you have one player being the ships and the other defending the island. Maybe that's how it will come into place, if it does come into place. Um, but yeah, you're always the person in the land. As for whether you play for the same side or not always. Right now in this current version of the game, I feel like
Incoming
when they put the
transmission
narrative
from
in place, I
archived
feel like these
footage.
things are gonna
You're playing
become
D&D.
clear, right? But depending on the level, sometimes you play as the pirates defending the island. Sometimes you play as
Is playing
the native
D&D.
peoples allied with the pirates. And sometimes you play as the empires defending against the pirates. And sometimes you play as an empire defending against other empires. Because there's quite a bit of that in history, like empires fighting each other. So I didn't want to let the irony of that not be included in the whole recolonization type of discourse.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, I want to make a level that I should drop in the coming weeks of Scandinavian setting. Like there's this battle of like in the early history of Sweden that I was looking at. There's quite a few different empires that invaded Sweden at one point in time, and I wanted to make a level in the Swedish islands with a little bit more green, lush like environment rather than the whole like Caribbean tropical look that the levels have now. Although there's two other levels that are a bit set in not in tropical locations, but I wanted to explore more of that.
Gotcha.
And, yeah, if you get to play as people in the land, it would be cool to summon a kraken. That would definitely be cool. But like, I'm just thinking about the technical part of putting a kraken in the game. Like, how would it work? Like, how do you animate the tentacles? But yeah, like this is definitely something that is missing. Like the thing about like a quick time, like like the not quick time event, but like a punctual like I want to throw a bomb here now, and something happens. You click and it like you have a immediate damage thing. I don't have that in Recolonizer yet, so maybe a kraken, maybe like you can place a mine or something. I don't know how it will come, but that's definitely something, a classic tower defense thing that we don't have.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, apologize for the clip walking on you a little bit there. I know you didn't hear it because you've got the stream muted, but I've paused those. I have to be careful to kind of pause and monitor the video clips. I've got all these abilities for people to be able to play clips, which is fun. It allows for some good fun interaction, but if you can't hear it and start walking on each other, so apologies for that. But anyway, do thank everybody for tuning in and jumping in tonight. I know we've kept Leo pretty late, considering it's like 2:40 in the morning, I think, at this time. Does that sound about right?
Well, it's actually almost 4 in the morning now.
Oh
so
my goodness,
3:42
4. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2:40 when we started. So yeah, 3. Well, I hope you're able to get some sleep and recover from this. But I appreciate you making the sacrifice and jumping on. It's very cool to check out your game. I hope everyone will check the link and the about page, and please, show your support. We certainly appreciate it, as always. And it was great getting to know you a little bit, know your game. Glad you're able to make it on. We were a little worried there at first, but we got you.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh no, no worries.
Yeah, oh man, like that, like I literally stopped my heart because like I opened my eyes and the alarm was just there, silent. Like when it's been ringing for so long, it just stops ringing. It's like, oh no, and then Twitch wouldn't let me go on. Like it. But I wanted to emphasize here, it's not a sacrifice at all. I feel like it's I want to make it clear that it's my pleasure to be here, and I'm very happy that that you guys wanted to have me on and wanted me to talk about this thing I made that I don't know. Like I'm very surprised still that people want to hear about it and play it. Like so I'm very happy that
you guys are giving me the platform here
Oh,
and
absolutely. Yeah, we
helping me
definitely.
reach more people.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely like supporting devs, and so that's kind of what we're all about. And it looks like a great game. You got some good comments from the group. Appreciate all of you jumping in and with all your questions and with your comments on the game. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much, Leo. Since we are a community who supports game developers, instead of just cutting off and dropping into thin air, I am going to kick us to another developer channel so that we can just sort of show our support that way. So we'll do a raid to drop off. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope everybody has a good rest of your night, morning, day, whatever time it is for you. All right. We'll jump
Thank you.
into Jitspo now. Thank you. Thank you.